This ain't no regular podcast. This is Westchester Talks.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Westchester Talks. You are now tuned into episode 18. And today we got a very special guest with us. Before I get to him, of course, to my left got my brother Fred. To my left also got my brother Lex.
Ooh.
And want to give a shout out to our sponsors, The Private Shop. If you need any feeds, clothing, anything of the sorts, make sure you tap in right in White Plains. As y'all can see, I'm stuttering. This guy, our guest that we got today, making me a little nervous. I think it's really the room that's making me nervous. Not even nervous, just got me a little antsy. And y'all know I usually pull out my phone to introduce our guests. But like I told these guys today, y'all see behind us, I don't think I need to read any list. We're just gonna talk about everything today. Special guest with us today, Westchester's very own, Coach Bob Cimmino.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So yeah, I say let's get straight into it, Coach. First, we like to just do a little check-in before we get into like the convo, and like you could say the interview or podcast of it.
Sure.
You know, we all work 9 to 5s and stuff like that, so we like to just check in with each other, see how our week went, how our weekend went, how we doing mentally and stuff like that. So yeah, I guess one of the guys to start off.
I'm good. A little tired. Just got back from Vegas yesterday. Was out there with Stepanak. They had a little tournament, not tournament, but a little showcase game out there. We did well, so got back straight to it, right off the flight, back to work, back to everything, taking care of everything. So everything good though. Excited for this episode.
Shoot, man, listen, you was in Vegas, but I was watching you in Vegas, man. You and your team, congrats on that side of things. To Stepanek and to you as well, supporting you. Had to coach my kids this weekend as well. We got the dub, so it's all good. And I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling real upbeat right now. What about you, Pete?
Yeah, same thing. Like we always talk about having work and then like trying to balance everything out. Could get a little tiring, I would say, at moments. I actually enjoy the process of it, but it still doesn't change the fact that I would be tired. Like even today, get off work, go home, walk my dog, come straight here. It's just a never-ending thing. But I'm enjoying the process. I'm having fun with it. Definitely, like y'all just mentioned, I'm excited for this episode. I know I'm gonna get a little slack from my town. Like, yo, Mount Vernon back to back. But it is what it is. So yeah, other than that, overall, I'm feeling good. So how you feeling, Coach? How's everything going? How you feeling?
Going well. School year started. Players are behaving, so I'm good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
That's it.
Yeah.
For sure. So yeah, I say let's get straight into
Before
it.
we start, can I ask Coach a question?
Of course.
How do you remember everyone's birthday? You got it written down somewhere?
Seriously.
I play a lot of numbers.
Okay. All right.
And once I see a kid makes varsity, I say, all right, when's your birthday? And I'll play that number for a while. And if I hit the number, I really remember it.
Because every time we go on your Instagram, right, you're always giving somebody a birthday shout out, and it's players that probably played the most minutes to players that probably didn't play a lot of minutes.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just credit to you because it shows like you care for everyone that comes through your program.
There's a lot I haven't gotten to.
Yeah.
If they're watching this podcast, shoot me your name, remind me your birthday.
Definitely. But that's dope. That's dope.
Thank
I was
you.
just wondering, do you have it written down in the calendar? Because it's like, man, you don't miss a day. I'm like, sheesh. But that's dope. Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, I say let's get into it for the people that know you for being a great coach that you are, legend, of course. All of us had the pleasure of watching and if playing against you as well. I know something I didn't know growing up was like where you from, like where you came from, how was it growing up, like all that type of stuff. I just knew you from like great Mount Vernon coach, legend, but like let's talk a little bit about the beginning, like where you from,
Sure.
how was it growing up, etc.
Was there another school you could have went to, not Mount Vernon?
No. I was born in Mount Vernon, South 6th Avenue, and I've lived in Mount Vernon all my life, 3 different spots. And I lived on the south side, the middle, the north, and Mount Vernon is just me. I'm just comfortable here. I like the people seem to like me, and so it's where I want to stay.
Wow, that's amazing. So basically, growing up, so I assume you went here as well for high school, right?
I did not.
Oh, so where'd you go?
We lived on South 6th. My mother played bingo at Mount St. Michael, so I had to go to Mount St. Michael. I went to Mount, graduated from Mount, went to Fordham for a little bit, quit school, worked in the post office for 11 years. In the meantime, I had been taken to a playground. A friend took me across the street from the playground to a CYO, St. Ursula's Church, and he said, we're gonna coach this team, 8th graders. And I said, I want to coach any little kids. I just want to play. And we coached the team. He moved 2 months later, and I stayed there, and I became the farm system for the great coach Tony Ferrantino and the Mount Vernon Knights. And then I slowly got brought in.
Wow, that's great. Yeah, that's great. That's crazy because one, I didn't know you was like born and raised in Mount Vernon. Like, I think that makes it even more spectacular story, and just even makes it more special. Like, you actually can relate to these kids in that capacity as well. Like, you was literally born and raised here. And that's a sidebar for me too. Like, I was born in Mount Vernon. So people joke around like, oh, that explains why you was good and bad. They giving kids something in that hospital. Like, so I only lived in Mount Vernon until I was like 3 though. Then I moved to Marichelle. But yeah, I guess that my next question was going to be, how did you get into coaching? But I guess you just explained it. So that kind of was like, it seems like that's kind of like not an accident, but like, it wasn't really in the plans, especially like you were working at the post office for 11 years. When you was there, did you think about coaching at all, or was like your friend bring you to that game, like the first introduction?
Well, I started coaching when I was 17, a senior in high school at Mount St. Michael, and I haven't stopped since.
Right. Okay.
And, you know, again, I would send players up here to Coach Ferrantino. In exchange, I wanted to come and sit. Can I sit and practice and watch your defensive stuff? And so that worked well. Coach Ferrantino moved on. Coach Marshall Reef came in. His assistant was Louis DeMello. And later on, Joey Galgano. And while they were still here, they said, we got a guy who can coach the summer league team for the high school. So I coached at Greenberg, and I coached in New Rochelle, the Mount Vernon Summer League, as I was still coaching the CYO. Then a spot vacated, and the JV was open. You want to do that? So for 5 years, I coached a CYO and the JV. And that was good. And then after 5 years, Joe Galgano, who was the head coach at that time, he went with Lou to Concordia. And I was content being JV coach. JV coach in Mount Vernon, sorry, chomps, it's the best job. Because you get the best 9th graders in the city, and if you lose a game, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So being the JV coach, I was just worried that the next new coach who would come in might not want me. So that's why I put in for the varsity job. And I went after it full force. If you were in Mount Vernon, I probably got a letter from you that went to the Board of Ed saying, you better hire Cimmino. And it was nice. And I never regretted it.
So is Mount Ursula the same thing as the Junior Knights?
No, it's not Mount Ursula. Mount Ursula is a girls' school.
Mount St.
Ursula in Mount Vernon.
Yes.
Now it's actually they merged how the Catholic churches are merging. They're with St. Peter and Paul now. There's no more CYO there.
Okay. Is that Junior Knights?
They took it across to the Methodist Church on the corner of Summit and Lincoln, and that's where the Junior Knights was born, and that now it's the Mount Vernon United.
Okay, that's nice, because just going off that, that's something we kind of always value looking out, like from White Plains. Because White Plains, we don't really have like a Junior Knights. So we don't have a farm system or a program that kind of pushes you to the high school and even to the middle school level and to the high school level. So that's something, like I said, we always value, and we always hear about it from, either the kids that we were playing against or just seeing it across the town. So how valuable is that to you? Because that's where you kind of started, right? Then in transition, and then now you have that farm system kind of going to you as the head coach. So it's kind of full circle moment for you.
It's huge. It's absolutely huge. As I was coaching St. Ursula, I would go down to the Little League field to recruit 7th graders to come to the church team. And I ended up staying down the Little League field for 20 years and becoming the commissioner down there. So I knew everybody. And it was great. You saw all the best athletes at a young age. What the farm teams do right now, Junior Knights, Mount Vernon United right now, it's amazing because I'll go to a practice, I'll go to a tryout, and one of my players in their senior year will tell me, I remember when you came to the Junior Knights. Mm-hmm. And it's a bonding mechanism, and the kids buy in.
Because literally, like Lex was saying, on the outside looking in, I would tell people, Coach Cimmino, if the year is 2004, you kind of have a glimpse of who will be on your team in 2008.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a valuable, tool as a coach to have. So like Lex said, that was something that, we valued on the outside looking in. And I know that had to be special for you.
I mean, even special for the kids, because if you think with this prominent program you have, and you thinking like, oh, the varsity coach is at my practice, or the varsity coach is at my game, like that's just motivation in itself to keep going. So that's why we looked at it like, wow, like that's a program, and we see why they're successful because of just the connection it has from the ground up. It's not like, oh, it just pop up at the high school level. So definitely want to give you your credit for that and your flowers for that, because you don't see that often, especially now with the all the transfer stuff going on. You don't know who's a part of what. Right. So being a part of something from a ground up to varsity and throughout is something that can kind of be replicated.
Yeah, no, and I think that's just a testament to like your character. Because like he said, I think the main thing that makes that work is the head coach, the varsity head coach. I think without you being so like hands-on and wanting to have a hand in that, it doesn't happen. Because even with Nurashad, I wouldn't say we have that either. Like we have Remington and like who like a lot of players, Krabbies, the older guys, myself, younger guys, we all went through like Remington. But it still wasn't anything like the Junior Knights. Because like we used to play against the Junior Knights too with like the travel ball, but it just felt different. Yeah. Like it just
with St. Ursula's, when I was coaching there, I coached against a couple of people over at Holy Family, and Krabby and Rosh were there. We go way back to that time with each other. So
even in a moment like that, how was that seeing them now? You're coaching against them now.
Right.
Oh, it's great. It's great.
So how was if you could think back, how was your first day as the head coach of Mount Vernon basketball?
It was different because my assistant, his name was Al Visconti, and I don't think he was sure that I knew anything. And Al had actually written up a practice plan. I had my practice already set. Yeah. He said, "You want to look at this?" I looked at it, I said, "Thanks, Al. I have one too." And we became best friends, and he sat next to me for, I guess, 12 years, and then he went on to Tuckahoe and won a state over there. But yeah, it was pretty special. And our first game at my JV coach, Charles Cowens, great man, he had all the kids sign a ball, and I still have that ball at home.
Wow, that's dope.
And it was pretty special. And then just I didn't want to make any mistakes. Yeah. I didn't want to screw up a good thing. Mount Vernon was a good thing already. And I just wanted to listen. I pride myself on listening to my athletes. In 1991, I was the JV coach, and we went 29-0, head coach Marshall Reef. And when you win the states, they give you maybe a medal about this big and a cheap ribbon. That's all they give you. And I remember back in this gym, Rasul Salahuddin, who was a tremendous player.
Just ran into him.
Did you?
Yeah,
I love Russ.
Vegas,
he said, "We didn't get nothing. We didn't get nothing." So I thought selfishly to myself, well, if I was ever to be the varsity coach at Mount Vernon, I would make sure we got fed it. We would have ice, and I was able to follow through with that.
That's dope. So now that we hear into the conversation about like you being the varsity head coach, before I get to your into that stuff, who was maybe like you being such a great coach and you telling us how you started and all this stuff?
By the way, I never said I was a great coach.
No, you don't. Yeah. Sometimes when you are that and when you him, you don't gotta say it. Other people say it for you. So trust me, you
aura speaks for
it. Yeah. For sure. So who was some of like your mentors, like what as far as coaching goes? Because like you said, you've been JV coach, you coaching CYO, all this stuff. Like,
Every step
who are some
too,
people
yeah.
you maybe watched or maybe were inspired by, or maybe took some stuff from to implement into like your style?
Sure. I went to a couple of clinics when I was a CYO coach. Thought clinics were amazing. I didn't even know they existed. Right. That's how backwards I was, and just wanted to pick up a couple drills here and there. I came to watch Coach Ferrantino's Knights practice here. And then when I became varsity coach or even JV coach, we were going to Fordham team camp. Mm-hmm. And I had a strong bond with Nick McCarchick, Fordham coach, and he used to let me live at his practices. And Joe Galgano started us going down there, and it was just an amazing thing. We went to the team camp first, and I was coaching our Mount Vernon varsity. We flip-flopped. Joe would coach the JV. And we met downstairs, and Coach McCarchick started screaming at one of the other coaches because he didn't play one of the players. And he didn't say anything to me. And I just said, "Oh, Joe, coaches talk like that? That's amazing, isn't it?" So I had to go watch more. So Nick McCarchick, Fran Fraschilla, the commentator for ESPN, I lived at Manhattan for months. And I picked up so much stuff with him. When he was at Manhattan, I saw a fist fight break out. He ended practice. After an hour and a half, he said, "Everybody back at midnight." They had a midnight practice. Wow. I was with him at St. John's when Zendon Hamilton tore down a backboard with a dunk. He didn't miss a beat. He blew his whistle. He said, "Everybody the other side, managers get that." It was just constant pressure, movement and pressure. So those two especially. And then I've been all over once I became the varsity coach, I found out that college coaches like you. I went to Kentucky, I went to Duke, I went to Florida, all over, and Coach Pitino at Louisville, and just trying to bring one extra drill back, one extra concept that I could share with my players or yell at my players about. And you just never stop learning, just keep taking things in.
So basically during the first few years that you were the varsity coach, did you guys ever hit a rough patch? Were there ever a few dark years where you guys might have underachieved? And if so, tell us what that feeling was like.
Because it don't look like.
Yeah, because it doesn't look like a lot of underachievement in here. So if there was, we will also like to know what those moments felt like.
Great question. Well, my first year was 94-95, and we ended up beating a team from over that way, a purple team, a New Rochelle. we beat New Rochelle in overtime at County Center. Gary Bryant, my assistant coach, was on that team. And so we won the gold ball, and I don't think I handled that very well. I think that was really it. I didn't have the hunger after that. And I was good with that gold ball, and we ended up losing to a Middletown team that I don't think we should have lost to. But we still won the gold ball, so I was okay. And then the next 4 years, there was no gold here. 4 years in a row, we lost in different ways. And I remember saying to a good friend of mine, "I don't know if I can take this much more coming out of this building," meaning County Center, without the gold ball. I didn't know. It was really tough. But then the 98-99 year, we ended up losing to White Plains by 1. It was a great game, and my player Timmy Rollerson, AKA Sleepy, ended up going off that game, and he got Mr. Basketball. That was a little consolation, but then every step of the way, Coach Mayfield ends up winning that year, so that kind of hurts. And then we had Ben Gordon on the team, so things looked really bright, and we had a really super team in 2000, and we won it all, and that was just amazing.
In those years, right, just looking back, because we are in the gold ballroom, as they call it, right, did you think this was like achievable or possible?
No concept. No, I didn't even think I'd be here this long.
And have you had a chance to sit back and realize what you have done and what you have built? Because I think sometimes, like you said, you were always thinking about, you don't know if you could take it, right?
Yeah.
Losing. And then you said basically got complacent with the first one. What was your thought process, or did you even take in like what has, transpired from that moment, from going, you don't know if you could take it, to taking it all every time?
I knew that I wanted to keep getting better, and I wanted my players to keep getting better. So we did more and more things. We would do Albany team camp. Of course, we were in IS-8 in Queens. That was something. Mm-hmm. Ben had his coming out party there for sure. And I knew that we'd have a good team because we had a lot of people back. Did I know that we'd go that far? No, that was total numbness after the regular season. And not to have lost a game, that was some pressure there, because your first loss is going to be at the wrong time probably. So then you must be undefeated. And we kept going. And how we got to win everything in the state championship game, Greg Jenkins tips a ball in at the buzzer so that we got the right to go to overtime. And then we handled pressure. And some little kid named Ben Gordon came over to me with like 10 seconds left on the clock. And he said, "Coach, I want to apologize." And here I am, I'm saying, I'm about to win my first state championship. This is great. What is it? What does Ben want? I apologize for making the game so close. It shouldn't have been that close. And I said, yeah, I know, this is greatness right here. 76-69 in overtime we won. And we sat up quite a bit of the night. I don't think Ben slept at all. We talked in the hallway there. Jason Bailey was there, and also just an amazing experience. And that rush that you get when you know, and that last minute is winding down and you know it's going to be you, I felt that, I don't know, 7 to 10 times in my life. It's incredible. Incredible rush.
Yeah. So would you say that was kind of the turning point is 2000, where it's like that's where everything kind of like just was like an oil machine per kind of
the culture,
say,
the tradition.
Yeah, because you said you had those 4 years, 4 years of like struggling, being complacent, and 2000 comes, you get over that hump. And then from there, it seems like we were just looking at our freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, all 4 of them. So that's why we sat on this side. We
didn't want to go on that side over there. This side ain't got nothing to do with us over there.
But would you say 2000 was kind of the turning point? And did you kind of feel that, or was it just like you were just in the moment, just taking it day by day kind of thing?
Yeah, I didn't. A turning point? No, that didn't register. I just thought it was great.
Right.
Great what we did. And then we got to the Federation, and we played a Mount Vernon Knight, Willie Shaw, and Kennedy's team, and they had J.C. Mathis, who signed with Michigan, and that was a tremendous game, and we won 60-58 in that game. And as soon as the game was over, Mike Quick runs up with his MSG camera. The lights are on, sticking in my face. You're MSG's Coach of the Year. Congratulations. You're MSG's Team of the Year, Tri-State Team of the Year. I said, oh, wow, this is amazing. This is great stuff. And then, last for a while, and then, okay, what happens next year? What happens next year?
I'm glad you're saying this, and I'm glad it's being captured, because from the outside looking in and like not really having so much conversation with you, we thought we think like you're like Zen, like a Phil Jackson, where it's like you don't feel anything. Like you win, move on. Win is just like so natural. It's like, is he even happy that he won everything? Like every time? Like,
he don't look happy over there. I'm looking at him. He look like this is regular.
Yeah, like it's so regular that we don't know if you I won't say appreciate that, you're so used to it. So we're thinking like, all right, he know he gonna win. So it's like, but now that you're saying how you feel, like how you felt in the moments with Mike Quick and just being Coach of the Year, it's really refreshing to see, because like I said, we thought you were Phil Jackson. Well, you are Phil Jackson to Westchester.
I feel incredible on the bus. I have a lot of idiosyncrasies, and in Glens Falls, if you're fortunate to come away with victories, the bus ride on the way home, I feel so totally selfish. There's not a person in the world who could feel any better or be any better than me at that time. When I'm riding home with my team and I know we're going to be greeted by cops and fans once we get to Mount Vernon. You could take me then, God.
Well, you also said something else just now that I wanted to segue into as well, because the basketball culture, media-wise and everything, is totally different at this point. When you said Mike Quick came up to you with the MSG cameras and things like that, how does it feel knowing in 2025 that allure of MSG network and things like that, it isn't the same as it once was, because social media has taken over so much. What was those feelings like compared to now, media-wise? What was the media like back then compared to now?
Well, every kid had to watch Mike Quick's show.
Yep.
When that show was on, and every coach had to watch. It was just amazing to watch because it was centralized, and it was the only show. So you watched it. Whoever he was interviewing, is he going to say anything about us tonight? Oh wow, you mentioned that game. It was just fantastic, and Mike's still a great friend to this day. I was even fortunate enough he had a cooking show.
Oh wow!
And he had a couple of coaches cook for us. It was wild.
It's crazy.
That's a great idea nowadays.
I couldn't bring that back.
I'm gonna be the first one there. You know how I do.
It was good stuff.
Yeah, that's dope. That's dope. And you mentioned Ben. So I say let's start getting into some of the players, because you had coached great players over your years. Who were maybe some of your more favorite players? That, I don't even want to do that to you, but I kind of do.
Who was your favorite player?
Yeah, who was some? Let's because he might miss some, so don't But who was some of your favorite?
My all-time favorite player.
Yeah,
All-time favorite player.
Oh damn, I'm not retired yet.
Yeah.
Can't get that.
Thus far.
Up to present, so
up to
far.
now.
No.
All right, what was your best team?
Okay.
My best team was.
And not saying that they won.
Your favorite team.
Yeah, you just felt most connected to.
Right. Yeah. Connected, had fun.
Who here has children?
No.
None of us.
If you have 2 children, and who's your favorite, Daddy?
That's a tough one. Yeah, you're not supposed to answer it, right? Okay, so how about this? Let's make it more broad, right? You don't have to say your favorite.
All right.
Who's your favorites? Meaning, you could just throw out a couple of teams that you really had a good time coaching.
Okay. I'll go numerically in order. 94 was pretty good. I didn't know what I was getting into.
And who were some notable players?
It was really Gary Bryant's
Gary
team.
Bryant, okay.
Yeah, he was the man on that team. 99 was a segue into the championship. Timmy Rollerson led that team. Ben was in 10th grade. 2000 was a mighty team, undefeated. So much fun to be around. 2001, Ben's senior year, we couldn't repeat. We didn't repeat, but we made it to Glen Falls. 2002, the Jomo era. Tough. We didn't win. We didn't win the chip. We made it to Glen Falls again. 2003, Chomp's senior year, we were undefeated until the last game in Glens Falls. And we went 25 and 1 that year. And we're in the hotel, and I can't remember who we got beat by. Kid went to West Virginia, Tyler Ralph, and upstate Catholic team, and they said, you guys are definitely winning everything next year. And I did not want to hear that at all. but we did. We did. 2004 was a monster team.
Who was on that team around that time?
Dexter Gray,
Dexter.
Shanty Robinson, Keith Benjamin. I brought Keith off the bench, so I brought a Division I player off the bench on that team. And you had the guards. You had CeeLo, who locked up Sebastian Telfair. Mike Coburn was starting to blossom and bloom. Yeah, it was a really good team. 05, and you had a young Jay Mitch on that team. 05, Ray Rice beat us up. Ray Rice beat us up. We're at the county center, we're playing as a timeout. Ray Rice punches Coburn as he's going back to the bench. And New Road beat us that year. And John Mitchell credits that game for why we won everything the next year, how he felt. 06 was, 06, we had 1-0, won everything in 0. State feds in 04. And 06 came around, and I didn't think we'd do it. We won back-to-back games in the playoff run, 62-60. And we ended up winning the Federation Championship. Then we had a young Kevin Jones coming up in that era. 7 was a state, was a great one. Sitting on the bench in Glens Falls, and Coburn is dribbling the ball fast up the court, and some kid named Kemba Walker is going off, volleying with him physically back and forth, verbally back and forth. That was a pretty cool moment. We didn't win the chip that year, but we won the state. 8 was a pretty good team. We made it to the States, and we lost to a Catholic team again. 2009 was the 55-foot hook shot.
Newburgh, right?
Yeah. Pace University. Billy Boughton killed us with that shot. That's why I had practice for the 2013 game when New Rochelle, when the shot did it to us. I'm the only one that had practice. Losing like that.
How did those moments feel?
Before that, though, you started when we were born and ended like
Literally.
recently, like when I graduated high school, winning gold balls. Like every year you just said you went from 90, well, I was born 93, but you went from 94 to 2013. I went from elementary school, middle school, high school, losing. I'm just saying, but yeah, go ahead. Go.
No, like you said, those two, the two shots, those moments, and I wasn't even going to bring that up because it might be a sore spot for you. So I said to myself, now I got to take this moment, as you brought it up. How did the Newburgh shot feel in that moment, and how did the players respond after the game?
Well, I had 9 seniors that year, and the Newburgh game was a regional, and Sherrod Wright was on the team, and it was just a horrible, horrible thing because our family died that day. 9 seniors, and the bus ride, the locker room was horrible. People were trying to come up and console us. Don't want any consolation from anybody. I just want to be with my 15. I'm only worried about them. How are they doing? We're in this parking lot till 1:30 in the morning trying to figure out, is this kid all right? Is he all right? Where's he going to go after this? It was the next, and I left them all knowing, all right, 12 o'clock, we're going to have open gym just to come up and talk. I'll get pizzas. So it's just same as if a relative died, exact same thing. And it lingers. And I'm actually, this is going to sound weird, I'm fortunate to have that in my coaching banks. Not many people have those experiences. I will tell you that there's a friend who said, okay, things like that come in threes. You had 09, you had 2013, what's next? Yeah. I said, well, I don't know, but it didn't kill me, so maybe I'm a little stronger.
So then as you continue, I think our era, the 2011s, the 2012s, those teams that you had during those times,
Very, very strong. You had a little kid named Jabari Hinds came on the scene. And I remember my father was still alive then. He said, this kid Jabari is really good. I said, yeah, Dad, just watch him. And sure enough, he just progressed like a natural born killer. I had actually sent Coach Gary down to the boys club because I heard about Jabari and Khalid Samuels were playing. And look at the devil. The devil walked
Coach
in.
Gary.
Just wanted to make sure that that this was going to be their address. Right. They were going to come to 100 Cali, and they did. And Jabari was, and he still is a natural born leader. And he just did such good things.
What was that decision to put him on varsity as a 7th grader? I know you think started at JV.
No, 8th grade.
8th grade, so 7th grade, okay.
Yeah, 8th grade, part of the way through, he came up.
So I know him and Coburn did it as well?
Coburn is the only person I ever had who from day one, 8th grade, he was on varsity.
On varsity.
Yeah.
And what was that decision? Because at that time, that was like, I mean, we're the same age as Bari, so same year. Yeah. When we heard, because really there was no real social media, so we really don't see them unless you're playing against them. Right. But we're hearing like, all right, Mount Vernon got an 8th grader, and we're playing modified basketball.
You know, it's difficult because I've seen a lot of kids, and I'm sure you have, who are good early and don't keep going. Mm-hmm. And you could stunt their growth, but he's just someone that the older guys respected him at such an early age, and that he was their little brother right away. So he just fit right in. And in his 9th grade year, we're playing in the primetime shootout in New Jersey against Roman Catholic, and the score is tied, and there's 20 seconds left, and we just call thumbs down for Bari. Give Bari the ball, get the hell out of his way. Wow. And he got fouled, and we won the game.
Wow.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. No, I'm sorry, but that's, you know, so then by 2011, he graduates, right? And then 2012, you have someone else ascend into best.
There was always that competition. Frag, when he was in 11th grade, thought that he was better than Bari then. Yeah. So it was competition. And Frag came over, and it was his team, and we went back to back, and we're in the locker room, and I did challenge them. I said, no Mount Vernon team had ever won back-to-back Feds. Mm-hmm. We'd won back-to-back states before, but not back-to-back Feds. And we didn't do it. But
we felt like we were the runner-ups for Federations 2011. We was the last team to beat you guys before you guys went on a run. You know?
That was the snowed out game,
yeah,
right?
We played at White Plains. Yeah. No, we was like, when you guys won Feds, I was like, that would have been me. You know, that could have been me.
That was one of those so-called bad losses.
Yeah. They told me you had them running in the parking lot when y'all got back.
You know, allegedly.
They said, we got back, we had to run in the parking lot. I'm like, man, you know?
That's funny. So, and there's a certain moment for me that I always want to ask. So, and I'm sure you didn't get rattled, but what were some of your thoughts going into that County Center game my junior year? I think we had beat y'all regular season both times, where Mace was on the team with me. So my junior year, I think we only lost probably 3 games.
That was 2010?
That was 2010. I think we had lost like 3 games. We beat y'all home and away. So we like, oh, this is all year. Like, and then we get y'all in the County Center, and I forgot what exactly the score was, but y'all beat us in the County Center. Was there any like conversations about regular season, or you got to the playoffs so much at that point, you not even, once it's playoffs time, it's like it's playoffs time?
I feared you guys. And we practiced. I was getting so pissed at practice to go against your 1-3-1. Mm-hmm. And Bari calmed me down repeatedly. He would, Coach, we got this. Coach, we got this. I said, Bari, look at these damn kids. Look what they're doing right now. This is what's going to happen. We need this. And we were focused.
Yeah,
we were focused. Sure. And then when we took a couple charges early, it worked. It was good for us.
Yeah, you guys.
Sure. Yeah,
and outside of White Plains, you guys took charges every time down.
And that was kind of, and like now you said, it worked early, because I think that's what kind of, like, thinking back on, that's what had me a little flustered early.
Yeah.
Because that was my game, like getting to the basket. So after I think I had 2 fouls early, both charges.
Baseline by the state.
Yeah, I think it was like 2. And I'm just like, damn, like, I was just kind of, once that happened, it was just like, damn, kind of thing. And then it just was downhill from there. Then y'all won, I'm like, shit.
So, I want to talk about your impact off the court, right? Because you, like you said, we started in '94, and we talk about winning year in and year out. But the impact you have in these kids at the moment, right, and up to their adulthood, is like something we don't see before. Like, I always credit this moment here. It was like, you know how they have Bender Sports? They have the little senior showcase game. Sure. Remember we played in it? Our senior year at Purchase.
Yeah.
Right. Everybody's there. Like, all the seniors that are not heavily recruited. I don't know why PJ was there, but everybody else that's not heavily recruited, right, is there. And they're usually there either by themselves or they're there with their parents. But out of all the coaches you see, we always notice you there. And that's with players that are not a Jabari Hinds, right, a Kevin Jones, those type of players. So you see the impact, and other kids, we feel the impact of you being there because other high school coaches aren't there. Not to throw shade, but it's the reality. How important is that to you? Just making sure that you're putting your hand out for everyone and not, just a selected few, because that's important, right? Definitely, being in Mount Vernon and the kind of the stigma around Mount Vernon is like the bright spot besides the basketball is people always talk about you and how you impact their lives.
Well, thank you very much. Very nice words. It's just super important to me. I don't understand why other coaches don't go to those things. I really don't. I don't understand why some coaches stop coaching in February. There's other months. There's other months.
Yeah.
You're supposed to, if I was, I don't know if anybody could do it in Mount Vernon if you didn't coach year round. I don't think anybody can do a good job just for that paycheck. It's mind-boggling to me that some people don't care more. Maybe it's just a culture. I told you I'm only from Mount Vernon, so it's only what I know. But for a player who's not in your starting five, I got to give them respect in different ways, and I got to show how much I care. And I tell them in my classroom, I have a big poster. I make a big poster every year with extra pictures. My room I've been yelled at by superintendents because I have, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of pictures in there. And I tell my players when they're sitting in study hall, I say, the guys on all these pictures, the guys that are doing best today are the ones with the highest GPAs, not the ones that scored the most points for us, not the ones that won the most. So think about that. So if I'm dealing with the 15th man, might be governor someday, might be a mayor.
For sure.
So they're all important. And if they're going to come through our practices, they're my family.
Absolutely. And so was there like a moment maybe where something that happened with a kid or something maybe in your life that made you like that to want to be involved with all the players, or even go to like showcase games, or go to maybe a kid is having a birthday party or something, you might show up? Like what makes Coach Cimmino that? Like, was it like a certain moment, or is it just naturally that's just always how you've been?
I listen to players a lot, and I want to try to do what's right. I can't do this job half. Like if tomorrow I wake up and say I really don't want to be in open gym today, then it's time for me to go. As long as I still have the energy and I still like it, I've got to do the whole thing. I've got to. If they're going to give up their time, then it's special to me, and I want them to know that I'm here if they need me, and I'm going to show up at your AAU game, whoever you're playing with, I don't care,
Right.
and I'm going to try to get there. But I've seen it done the wrong way.
Yeah, for sure.
And, in Mount Vernon, maybe I'm compensating a little bit because as far as the socioeconomic scale goes, we're not up at the top.
Right.
But this is just what I have to do, what I want to do and have to do.
And you pay it forward, and your kids, they give the same type of commitment back. As someone who is the AAU coach for Mount Vernon Elite for the 17U team, your kids won't miss a beat when it comes to in-house. Anything you have going on, they'll be like, Coach Fred, I can't make it. Coach is saying we got to do this, and we respect it too because the commitment on both sides, we get it. So I just want to say that's a testament to everything that you've given to them. Their commitment and their loyalty is indebted to you as well in return.
Thank you. That's huge.
Absolutely.
And on that, the reality is you might not get through to every player. There's going to be some players that come in the gym and maybe don't have the respect, don't have the work ethic, don't have the same, characteristic as a Jabari Hinds, as a Ben Gordon. How do you deal with the kids that you maybe can't reach? The kids that's like, you're trying, and they like, man, whatever. Like, how do you deal with that? Is it like a point where you kind of just not necessarily give up on them, but like how exactly would you deal with that?
Have they made
Or
the
have
team
you?
already? Or are they going to try out?
Let's say,
Both.
I would say when they was trying out, they was one way. Now they made the team, and maybe they getting a little old. They made the team as a sophomore. They going into their junior senior year, maybe feeling themselves a little bit, and now don't got the same like.
Usually, I can't say to my face that I've heard really anything negative over the years. I remember when I was JV coach in ancient times, there was one kid that wouldn't do the running. And he started jogging slowly, and I said, just leave your jersey over there. Right. And most of the guys really, really want to be here. Yeah. To do what we do around the calendar, you pretty much have got to want to be here.
Right.
So, and it is night and day between people who are not on the team and people who are on the team.
For sure. Right.
This is the loyalty here.
Right.
I try to treat everybody. I don't want to violate the New York State Public High School Athletic Association rules. Anybody who wants to come to open gym can come to open gym and play. Anybody that wants to lift weights, they can, as long as they're regular. Yeah. They're not going to show up today and not show up for 2 weeks. But the loyalty is growing there, but not until you're on the squad.
Right. So it's more so just a focus on the guys that want to be there, the guys that want to do it, as opposed to like worrying about the kids who maybe didn't want to do it.
Yeah. A lot of people say, do you have, when's tryouts? Oh, you expecting any new talent? Yeah. I say, if I'm expecting new talent, I'm not doing my job. Mm-hmm. If I don't know who they are, I'm not doing my job. Yeah. Neither is Coach Chomps and Coach Gary.
Yeah. So also, just kind of tie into that, you start at a young age with these kids. Like, you know them from when they're young to when they come through their high school. And you know Mount Vernon, right? How it does have some rough around the edges places. Mm-hmm. Some stuff do happen. Do you understand how you kind of, like we said, you can't reach everyone, but the ones that you do reach, the ones that are in the program, you're kind of delaying people's reality in real time. And what I mean by that is, like, in other places, in other cities like White Plains, Greenburgh, New Rochelle, just because we're here, we have kids that don't have someone like you that kind of make them want to be a part of something. So they're out in the streets. They're out not doing what they're supposed to be doing because they're not attached to anything.
And these are the guys that make the team.
And these are, that makes the team in other cities,
Gotcha.
Right? And for you, how does that make you feel that you do, like, potentially save lives, right? Because we have either friends or kids that we grew up with that if we had a structure from 6th, 3rd grade all the way on, their life trajectory would be totally different because of the cohesiveness of just the town. Right. So I just want to give you credit to that because that's, like, very important. That's something that a lot of other cities do lack. And I want to say a lot of places lack that, just in general.
Thank you. I think one of my biggest attributes is my ability to keep good people around. And I try to tell my players all the time, adults want to be used. Adults want to be used. Now, they look at me at first like, I'm not talking about taking their wallet or doing something bad. Adults want to give you their help because they like credit. They like to say, so many people take credit for, it's funny to see, he played on my football team when I was younger. He played for 7th grade for me. That he's out there now. And I also was able, fortunately, I have the tie-in with City Hall in Mount Vernon because I run a basketball summer rec camp. And I think we just finished year 33 doing that. So I'm able to bring in the city people, city government, and the board people, and there's a lot of great people in there. And I tell our guys how every politician wants young people around. Every politician wants young people to be seen with them, and they have things to give you. So all of my players get summer jobs, and they know how to carry themselves. They better shake your hand if you come in. If you're sitting in the chairs watching an open gym, they better come up to you, shake your hands, look at you in the eye. And they get it. My players get it after a while, and it trickles down. They're teaching the 7th graders who come up from the Junior Knights, from Mount Vernon United, and they do want to be a part. What do I got to do to come? We had 7 new kids show up. I don't even know if they can play basketball at our destination college reading last week. Now, this week comes, there's only 4 of them left, but they came and they lifted weights too. And they're listening. And I said, you 2 are reliable. And they said, what? I'm reliable? So you just tell them that they're doing well and see how they move on from there.
And that's a testament to, you know, a Hall of Fame level coach. And speaking of Hall of Fame, you were inducted into Westchester's Hall of Fame. What was that moment like for you?
It was cool. It was really cool. It was one of the greatest nights of my life, and I didn't know it would be that good. But the setup they had at the Glen Island Casino, oh my goodness! I've been to weddings that weren't nearly as nice as that, and then the job that Kevin Devaney did. He's just an amazing person, and he's. You hear Kevin talking about you, it reminds me, reminiscent of Mike Quick talking about you. You just feel, that's me. Oh, I'm good. I guess I'm good. And just to hear, they made a tape with all my former players talking about me, and I had some family members that saw that. And they used to ask me, when are you going to retire? They said, you better never retire. I saw that. You better never retire. I'm going to retire, but but it was an amazing evening, Fred. Just being inducted, that's great, and it's cool that your players are proud of you. It's nice to feel that the player, my coach is in the Hall of Fame. It's cool.
For sure. And you mentioned we had Ken Devaney on our show a couple episodes back. He was a guest on our episode. So speaking of Kev, he's heavy into like content and stuff like that. And when we reached out to you, Fred reached out to you and asked you about coming on here. You were all for it. I'm starting to see you get into that content space a little more. Like I seen another podcast you did. I'm seeing you post on your Instagram story. I don't know if you run your page or not. So I'm seeing a lot going on with you into the content space. Is that like purposely? Are you trying to get into the content space more for certain reasons, or is there somebody behind the scenes like, yo, coach, you gotta come on, we got you, get you doing this? Like,
good question, fair. I was at a Nike All-American camp, and they had a guest speaker. This is around 2001 or 2, and he started saying some things, and he said, you better learn that. That's how your kids are gonna be talking. And he was talking about cell phones and things to come, and I won't go on TikTok. I will not.
That's where you're doing the dances?
I will not do that. And if one of my players, they've tried to make a video in the gym, this is red. I don't want to see that nonsense. But I'm just trying to I want to stay relevant.
For sure.
And the players that I have, it's their life.
Right.
So I don't want them seeing all the stuff that's accumulated in me over the years. I don't want to mind their business, but I want to know that I can still talk to them.
For sure.
And I said that a few years back to a friend, and I said, if I can't get through to a kid, or if I don't know what they're talking about, then I'm done.
Right. Yeah. So it's more so just to like, you would say like to relate more to your current
I didn't
players.
do this to relate. I did it because you guys asked.
No, just like tapping into like social media.
Social media.
Instagram is fun. The USA Sean Ford, the president of USA, got me on Twitter. He's the one, you need to be on Twitter. So I got on Twitter.
All right, let's do a little hating segment right now. Because
good, it's been too much love.
Yeah, too much love. We got hate a little bit.
Yeah.
So you guys first had the little tight Nike jerseys when we was in high school.
The dry fit.
Yeah, the dry fit. We had the baggy ones. that when you sweat, you add an extra 10 pounds. So that's why we was losing games. I'm telling you that. And then one, you guys go to China. You guys went to Hawaii. And we're in Pennsylvania, it's negative 39,000 degrees.
Williamsport.
The game. Yeah. Williamsport, yeah.
Oh, and then not to cut you off,
Yeah, ask some more.
that was my question. I got some hate too. You know, we not too far, but I did have a question. So I think it was my junior or senior year, and I'm more mature now. I'm more, into my emotion and stuff. So you could be honest with me, because I was here. So was it my junior year where you took a team to China? But it wasn't like a Westchester team. It was like a.
No, to China was 2007.
Yeah.
In the summer.
So was that?
No, it was like the All-Star team. It was like it might have been like
It was either
All-Star.
I took a team to France.
It was probably
France.
It was
It was France.
Jabari Junior or Senior, because it was my junior senior year.
Yeah.
Because I was being told that I was supposed to be a part of that team, and then I ended up not going. So I was like, "Damn, what happened?"
Man, it's
Like,
a Vincent session.
so did you have any say about? I mean,
It's a Vincent session. I told you.
No, you guys were in France. He was
so
on
how did
first.
that? Because Coach Murph came like, "Yeah, you gonna be in this team," and then like two other coaches, I forget their names. Don't kill me, but. They was telling me like, "Yo, get ready. You gonna be a part of this team." Coach Cimmino's taking the team, so, and then when it
told me
didn't
they had a
happen, I'm
passport.
like, "Yo, what's going on?"
PJ, this is news to me. But no, that team, that was the second time we did that. Ben Gordon as a 16-year-old. I'm teaching social studies. That was my classroom up that way. And I get called down the hallway. There were no cell phones, or I didn't have one yet. It was 98 or 99. This is Patrick Hanley from Scarsdale. You have a young man named Ben Gordon. I'd like him to play with my team in Paris, France. And I said, well, I got to check into it. I know Ben was good. I want to make sure this guy was legit. And so I did my due diligence, and he was legit. And I called him back. I said, Mr. Hanley, yes, everything checks out. Ben is interested. His mom is on board. Do you need anything else? He said, are you interested in coaching it? I said, hell yeah. Paris, France. Beautiful. So we went over there, and Billy Edlin, who played for Syracuse, and Ben were in the backcourt. It was just a great trip, really great trip with some other pros, some forwards. And then our young liaison over there, his name was Pierre, he called me years later in 08, 09, he wanted to put together a team. And I said, okay, I got a couple of guys interested. So he's the one who must have made inroads. It was not me.
We coming to France, man. I'm telling you. What's his name? Pierre? We come to see Pierre.
That's
funny. That's funny.
So I want to know, is there one player you saw when they were in elementary school or middle school and knew they were a Division I player at that moment?
Like early.
Yeah.
Because you've seen them all. Like
Right out these doors, there's the side baskets. We call it the NIT baskets, because we had the NIT, NCAA, and NBA. Ben Gordon, as a sixth grader, he was in that gym, and I saw him make a beautiful driving layup. And I went over to him and I said, wow, that's a really great layup. Can you use your other hand? He said, yeah, my right hand is my strong hand. So he made a beautiful lefty layup on the basket, and it wasn't even his correct hand. And then I lost Ben. He broke his foot in his seventh grade year. I lost sight of him. Then he turned up at the St. Ursula's, and I thought he was special. I didn't know how special, because I had never coached a pro before.
So I've always wanted to ask you this as well, because you brought up PJ and, game planning for the 1-3-1, things like that. Who are some guys that you could just name a few that might have gave Mount Vernon a lot of problems during your years when you were coaching him?
I haven't had the nightmare in a while. Mike Summers from White Plains.
Mike Summers, yeah.
Oh my God, he was such a beast. Of course, I was always hoping that Jeff would come to school here. McDermott.
Jeff McDermott, right?
Yeah. In particular, I'm trying to think. I think I said that to Jeff once. I said, I watch a lot of players. I don't hope for many of them to come to Mount Vernon because I got a lot of good players, but because we had Jeff and his cousin is Al B. Shore, Al Brown, and Jeff was really good. Really. And Jeff in his junior year, when against our 04 team on this basket on this side, a foul shot was taken, he dunked. And I said, "Oh shit, we got excuse me. we got some problems for next year, which was 05."
Yeah.
And Ray was just a pain to play against because Ray was Ray.
Yeah. For sure.
Trying to think of any other schools. But those are really the high profile guys.
Yeah. So, if you was to describe Mount Vernon as a town, and then Mount Vernon basketball, how would you describe them in a short sentence?
You're talking about historically or right now?
Just no, historically, like if
Mount Vernon is a town with a very diverse population that's ever changing. We got some amazing people here, and it's difficult to keep everybody happy, but everybody kind of finds their own niche in the Vern, as we call it. And Vernon people are very supportive. In the 60s and 70s, you had white flight, and the white people left Mount Vernon in general, but for the most part, all those people in the suburbs, the first thing they want you to know, I'm from Mount Vernon. I'm from Mount Vernon. They are so proud that they touched these 4 square miles. And I'm kind of proud of our reputation too. I like to think of us as a city with really nice homes, but we share basketball from the Mecca, New York City. So that's why we go that way. That's why we went to Riverside, the Gauchos. We want to go to where ball is king.
And how would you describe Bob Cimmino?
Pretty caring individual. Likes a lot of people. Dislikes a lot of people. Enjoys what he does and doesn't know what his next step in life is.
I'm sorry, just as a sidebar, I just had to ask this question. This is something I knew I wasn't going to leave without asking. As you know, I coached the Pound street ball team, with a lot of your guys, a lot of guys who played for you from Mount Vernon, and, our star player, Dimitri Roberts. When you hear that name, what is something you think of?
Work. I think of a young Dimitri in 9th grade in the weight room while the other older players were not working nearly as hard. He'd go and he'd set up his own bar. I think of Beep Beep. I think of him flying into high gears. Constant work, never wanted to stop. A super loyal dog.
Absolutely. Shout out Meech. I had to throw that one out there.
Yeah.
That's my guy.
One of the greatest players I've ever coached.
Yeah. And to segue from that, we usually ask most of our guests, for the most part, we've been going like a little viral in the Westchester area every guest we had or every conversation we had about it. Top 5 players of all time. So
High school or college?
Yeah, well, we only base it on high school. So our criteria was basically you had to physically witness them play, and it's only based on their high school careers.
And they have to be from Westchester.
So to hit a little tree, we want your top 5 Mount Vernon players,
right away,
and then your top 5 players from Westchester that you have seen play.
Right.
We can start
Did you guys ask me who the best player was I ever coached?
No, we was waiting we was waiting for this moment right now.
We asked your favorite players.
Yeah. So this is just.
We want your top 5 Mount Vernon list. Best.
I think I left that home.
Yeah. Like who would your super team be if you had positions point guard to center? Who's your 5? Who would you make in that team?
God, that's still hard.
I don't know if I can count to 5. Gus Williams, Ben Gordon, Elton Brand, and then after that, I'm going to be stuck. I'm trying to think. I had the privilege of coaching Elton when he was on Empire State's when he was there. And my predecessor, Joe Galgano, made the mistake. He set up his schedule, which I inherited, going to Peekskill to play against Elton. That was a mistake because we're up there and they're saying, yo, you're getting beat by a C school right now. we were A and they were C then. Thank God our 12 press kicked in. But then the rocks at the bus on the way home were kind of rough. I'm trying to go around now. I mean, I'm going to be super Mount Vernon prejudiced.
No, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, Earl Tatum might be the greatest shooter I never played in college. Squid Smalls was probably, I saw Squid in Hartley Park one night beat someone, a good player, 32-0, and Squid didn't move his feet. So he was the best shooter I ever saw. He didn't move his stick. Earl Tatum was amazing. I didn't get to see Ray play a lot. I wasn't back here yet then.
Any Neuro guys, you know?
You mentioned Jeff.
Jeff or
right?
Krabby.
Krabby was tough, really tough.
And Jeff was like the first 6'9" point guard.
Oh,
He was mad smart.
he was. I don't know. I'm probably leaving out.
No, that's funny. Listen, that was
That was a mix.
That was a mix.
Now you're 5 Mount Vernon players.
Only Mount Vernon.
That you have coached.
Ben Gordon.
That's one.
That's all you're gonna get. You know why? Because of that. See, our jerseys are messed up over there. The wall is in disarray. The soccer ball during open gym periods has busted some of that down. But that wall right there, it has to be augmented, and I'm going to try to increase the jerseys before I leave. But I'm having real problems as to who I even suggest, who I even nominate, because I'm going to make a lot of people. Some people
can't make
unhappy.
everyone happy.
Yeah. Now we'll get the part 2 once you retire. You know what
All
I'm
right,
saying? You
I
mentioned you're gonna retire, so we going. I mean, if you want to announce when you're gonna retire,
If I knew, I would.
right? Well, yeah, we'll get back with you on that once you retire.
Listen, you named new role players, white players. You know,
scale.
I gotta help Greenberg out some way somehow. Have you ever seen Daniel Abrams play?
No.
Never seen Daniel.
I
Abrams.
saw him when he was with Young Life.
Yes.
Yeah, I caught just a little bit.
Okay.
Not enough.
Yeah, because
To be an
You're not
authority.
like y'all got to, y'all list is long and stuff. But okay. No, that's all. I just had to
Throw some
Greenberg
other
in there
names.
real
Come
quick.
on.
I don't know if you.
He don't even know.
I was thinking about bringing YO into this with the mosquito, Charlie Chris.
Oh no, yeah, you know, all Westchester. That's all good. That's all good publicity.
Bernard Looney Tune was great from Yonkers, but
Talking about Westchester, did you take pride when you go up to states and feds and you're playing city teams? Did you take pride in beating the city teams, even though Mount Vernon is so close and some of your players might live in the Bronx? We don't know. It's up to debate, but because we don't know how you got all those big men and White Plains bigs with 6'1". But did you take pride in beating those New York City teams? So
always
light could always shine on like some light could shine on White Plains. I mean Westchester, White Plains.
definitely proud to beat a city team because they do the most talking. They got the biggest audiences. They do the most talking. What was a revelation to me is how much upstate dislikes Section 1.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat to see. Some people say anybody but Section 1. Anybody but Section 1. So.
Because to that point, it's like even people from the Bronx will say Mount Vernon's upstate. Yeah, and it's like that's part of the reason why I made this brand. It's basically just Westchester's not upstate.
Nice,
it's based on like city people.
Yep,
That's how this was created. That's literally how this got
way up
created.
in Buffalo. And
It's
all
like
that.
5 minutes.
To speak on that, to piggyback off of that, it's funny. When I was a kid, I used to have the Sebastian Telfair Through the Fire DVD, right? And in the movie, you see them win in Madison Square Garden, and you would just automatically think, oh, that was Sebastian Tofe's last game. He won his last game in Madison Square Garden. So then there's a dual disc. The second disc is deleted scenes. I go to the deleted scenes. As a kid, I'm distraught because Sebastian was everything to me at that point. He's crying. And I'm like, why is he crying? And then it shows because he lost in the States to Mount Vernon.
66-52.
You remember everything.
I play that number, yeah.
You know, to see a prolific talent like Sebastian Tofe and see especially what he was doing, not only nationally, but especially in New York. And then you guys held him to what? By how many points?
We beat him by 14. It wasn't that close though. Early on in the game, two of our really good players, I think it was Dexter and Shanty, both got in foul trouble. And Chris Bradley, who has an amazing job at a bank now, and Jonathan Smith came in, and we held serve. We kept the lead. I said, oh, we're in good shape, because we were going to come back with a fresh crew in the second half. And yeah, that was quite a day. Before that, I was somewhat aggravated, because during the national anthem, there was someone on the Lincoln staff who was talking the whole time like this to Sebastian to fire him up the whole time. And I said, look at that over there. Look at that over there. I didn't like that at all. But in other things that you remember, in the hotel, we shared the hotel with them, and Kenny Pretlow from the Riverside Church, KP, great guy, he says, yeah, the locals are saying that you're going to beat us. I said, I don't know about that, KP. You got Sebastian. He said, yeah, they say you're going to beat us. And it was kind of prophetic. It did work out that way, but we just played real well, and we frustrated them early. Chris Lowe, Mike Watson, Mike Coburn, they went after Sebastian, and the rest is history. We did know that we were ruining the film.
Absolutely.
We did know that.
Absolutely.
That's why they didn't make the cut.
Yeah, I think that's a deleted scenes.
Yeah, and I think that's a perfect way to end this, especially words coming from you, will be, what's some of your advice for like that next generation, not only Mount Vernon kids, but you know, like we've all been saying this whole time, we even hear about you from the Neuroshells, the Greenbergs. So to a message and some advice just for the youth in general, you know, especially with what's going on in the world right now and everything that's been going on and transpiring. What's some advice you got for them just to like stay focused and, you know, to reach, you know, stay on the right path and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's so difficult to know who to trust nowadays. Mm-hmm. It really is. And if you're fortunate enough to have a teacher or a couple of good coaches, AAU coaches who have good credentials, high school coaches, good credentials, and they know what they're talking about, try to develop some loyalty to a program. Everything on social media, you know, everything looks great until you find out that person taking those vacations doesn't have a pot to piss in, and it's fake. So you got to see what's real. You got to evaluate people, talk to some people, and I don't know what the answer is with social media on the phone. I really don't. I don't know if it's gonna ruin a generation. It used to be, you know, that you met at the playground back in the days. Now, playground? Everything has to be adult driven, and that upsets me. Yep. We still got baskets outside. Why don't you go there? And crime doesn't seem to be the answer anymore. It's just that the habits they're in. They want to spend tons of time with whether or not they're being brainwashed with the algorithms. I'm sure it's fascinating to me, so it must really get to them, and they don't know anything else. Mm-hmm. So try to get a program that demands something of you, an AAU program, a high school, and then if you're going to go to college, you know, somewhere where you can fit and you have honest people around you. Easier said than done.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So yeah, I think that's the perfect way to finish this off. We want to appreciate you for coming through,
Definitely,
Coach, as well,
definitely.
allowing us to come to your home and, you know, be in the gold room, even though I'd rather have done this in the gym. You know? Like I said, little hate.
I got to do a disclaimer now. This was not my idea. This was Principal Ronald Gonzalez, who's now an assistant superintendent in Rockland, and this was his idea. And he started calling it the Gold Ballroom. It was always the community room. So now I'm starting to play along with it.
Shout out Mr. Gonzalez. I know
Yeah,
him.
definitely. Shout out
he's
to
good
Mr.
people.
Gonzalez. Shout out to you. Shout out to Mount Vernon basketball. Again, appreciate you for allowing us to
Thank
come
you.
into this room, this historic room. All these gold balls. Like I said, we was looking at the years. Seeing the first one was 86, and like he said, still winning to this day. So kudos to you. Good luck with this season coming up, because you're still in there, you're still getting it done. So good luck to you. To all our viewers and listeners, we appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. It does go a long way for us, so we appreciate y'all. Shout out to the private shop. I'm your host, PJ, my brother Fred, my brother Lex, and our special guest, the legendary Coach Cimmino. We appreciate you. This is Westchester Talks, episode 18, and we out of here.
So.